Miami, a place like no other, well known for its sandy beaches, blue sky, pretty colours, and a racetrack. Racetrack? What's a racetrack doing in Miami? Oh yes, it's time for my review of the Miami Grand Prix. And once again, it's another sprint race, and this sprint race has had a lot of surprises. For example, Daniel Ricciardo qualified P4? Where did that come from the Australian? And it can't get any better than that. Oh yes it can. P4 in the Grand Prix, he almost got a podium. Wow, he was able to defend to keep 4th place, and that is great work for Daniel Ricciardo, and his first points of the season. May not be in a proper race, but 5 points and being P4, incredible. If there was driver of the day in the sprint race, if that ever did happen, we know who we vote for, the Honey Badger. Now, there was a few penalties over the years we agreed and disagreed on, and I think this is a penalty we should disagree on. Was it fair to give Lewis Hamilton a penalty while speeding in the pit lane under safety car when everyone else was going through the pit lane as well? I mean, was that fair? Because the thing is, no one was pitting and neither was Hamilton, and I think that penalty was really harsh, and I feel like he would have got the 8th, but what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments. And on the first lap and the first corner of the sprint race, Lewis Hamilton dived on the inside, but then he went into Fernando Alonso, and then Fernando Alonso went into Lance Stroll, and then Lance Stroll went into Lando Norris and knocked him out of the race, including Lance Stroll himself when he got back to the pits with a very broken wheel cover. And as for Lando Norris, he walked across the track and back into the pits, but was under investigation. And that's odd because Lewis Hamilton, well, he walked across the track in Qatar when he retired, and it wasn't under investigation. And of course, he was really close to the cars, much closer than Lando Norris was. But why Norris the investigation, but not Lewis from last year? And the winner of the sprint race is Max Verstappen, with Charles Leclerc in that very weird blue Ferrari. Well, mostly red, but why on earth is it designed like that? That is, I don't know who designed it, but I mean, why did they disappoint us? I mean, why, Fry? I mean, why? But on the plus side, at least RB have designed a much better Miami livery. But look at this. It is gorgeous. And speaking of RB, Daniel Ricciardo in P4 and Sergio Perez in P3. Then it's Carlos Sainz in P5, Oscar Piastri, the only McLaren who has finished, he's in P6. Then Nico Hulkenberg, points for Haas again, well done for P7. And then Yuki Tsunoda, 2 RBs in the points, get in. And great result for Yuki Tsunoda. And such a shame for Lewis Hamilton, that could have been his points, but it was taken away. And the rest of the top 10, well, both of the drivers were so close of getting points, and they were both Pierre Gasly in the Alpine, so close to Alpine getting points. Even Williams with Logan Sargent at his home race. He did it once in Texas, but so close in Miami. He did a great job, and so did Gasly, but that is really heartbreaking. But well done to the both of them for finishing in the top 10. And it's lights out and away we go at the Miami Grand Prix. And already there was almost drama between the 2 Red Bull drivers. Sergio Perez, who locked one of his front wheels and nearly collided into Max Verstappen. The gap was so close. I mean, look at this. Whoa, that looks like contact, but thank God it wasn't. And Max Verstappen had a very lucky escape, and when I saw that I thought, oh, that was almost going to be game over, but nope, they still kept going, and let's just hope that Sergio Perez does keep his seat. But that wasn't the last on Max Verstappen's drama. On lap 21 at turn 15, Max Verstappen went off and hit one of the cones, and I don't know if it caused damage to the car. It might have done, and it could have cost him like a 10th of a second per lap, but at least he was still in the race. And as for the cone, well, it was left on the track, and well, it was a very difficult place for it to be picked up, so the virtual safety car came out and a marshal bravely picked it up, took it away, and it was back racing again. And on lap 28, Logan Sargent retired from the Grand Prix, and he has become the only retirement of the race. And how sad that was for him, especially for the home crowd, and especially Williams, because that's another repair job and a lot more extra pennies into the bin. But how did he retire, you may ask? Well, he made contact with Kevin Magnussen at turn 3, and the door was starting to close. And do you think Logan Sargent could have noticed him? I think there's a chance he could have. I feel like that Logan needs to be more aware of what's going on around him, because there was a driver, I think it was Danny Ricciardo, who was aware at turn 3 there was a driver on the inside and gave him space. I feel like that Sargent really needs to be more careful, and I think Kevin Magnussen as well. I mean, he could have gone off track on the escape road. Not really escape road, it's just off track. But it's just one of those unlucky moments, and I feel like I should call that like a racing incident. And as the safety car was out, it gave an opportunity for Lando Norris. He was the only one of the front runners that hasn't boxed yet, which gave him the chance to have fresher tyres and to have a bigger opportunity over Max Verstappen, especially when he might have damage from the bollard he knocked out on lap 21. And when the safety car went in, the race restarted, and Max Verstappen was at the back of Norris, and he was so close to overtaking him, but Norris did an amazing job keeping him behind, and he started to lead through the rest of the Grand Prix. But what about his teammate Oscar Piastri? Did he have a good race? Well, on lap 39, Carlos Sainz was overtaking him for P4, but then Carlos Sainz slid his rear end and into the wing of Oscar Piastri, broke it, and Oscar Piastri, as his performance was doing so bad, he had no choice but to box. And I do feel sorry for Oscar Piastri. He did an incredible job, as he always does. This was his second season, and he's been having a lot of bad luck, but we all have that. It's just part of motor racing. And as a result, Carlos Sainz, 5-second penalty. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for over 100 races, 5 years in Formula 1, and finally took his first victory after so many seconds and thirds. He's been getting on the podium, and finally Lando Norris wins a Grand Prix at last. And what a way to do it at Miami. And look what I'm wearing, McLaren with the Miami livery at. Oh, what a moment to remember. And the rest of the results are Max Verstappen in P2. The first time Max Verstappen has finished on the podium, but it isn't a race victory. That is so weird, seeing him on the podium, but not in first. Well, that's new. And Charles Leclerc for Ferrari gets P3. Then it was Carlos Sainz, but he had a 5-second penalty, and it drops him behind Sergio Perez, who takes P4 with Carlos Sainz P5. Then it is Lewis Hamilton in P6. Yuki Tsunoda P7, and he actually finished P7. Nobody got a penalty in front of him to move him up P7. He actually finished P7, which was his best finishing position of the season. Then it was George Russell in P8, Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin P9, and first points for Alpine. Esteban Ocon, well done. This is going to help them stay ahead of Williams and kick Sauber. And that's it for my review of the Miami Grand Prix. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more and check out my other accounts. And what will happen at Imola? Will Valtteri Bottas be voted driver of the day by the fans again for some silly reason? And will Lando Norris get his second win again? And what will happen with Max Verstappen? Will he keep the championship lead, or has he got a rival on his hands? We'll wait and see. See you next time.